Mic check. Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, dynamics, game, attraction, repulsion, everything in between. This is from the Patreon. All right, we've been watching this video on the Patreon from start to finish. So if you want the real game, that's where to find it. The link is down in the description. I'm going to break down some body language for you today, okay? So what we've been watching is Friends with Benefits Get Brutally Honest, put out by a YouTube channel called Jubilee. And quite simply, I want you to watch this statement. Yeah, we're going to go through it over and over again so you can dial it in. This is very important. I'm going to slow it down for you as well because I know the frame rate might not be fantastic. But let's watch it first, yeah?
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. You know what I mean? And I'll let her know.
Like, so, on a date or like
on a date
sleep with
or
someone
sleep
else.
with somebody. Yeah, it may happen.
How does that make you?
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Listen and watch. What do you see? Tell me what you see. Think about what you see. This is about observation. Watch.
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. You know what I mean? And I'll let her know.
Like, so, on a date or like
on a date
sleep with
or
someone
sleep
else.
with somebody. Yeah, it may happen.
How does that make you feel?
Let's go back one more time. Listen to the statement. I'm saying start from the top. Watch.
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. You know what I mean? And I'll let her know.
Like, so, on a date or like
on a
sleep
date
with
or
someone
sleep
else.
with somebody.
Right. Cool. Let me tell you what I see. I see congruence. Yeah, what does that mean? He's telling the truth. What do you mean? Well, I thought he was telling the truth anyway. No, because he could lie. He's made a big, bold statement. Listen to what he says.
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to.
If I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. If I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. Now look at what his head does.
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to.
His head nods in agreement, right? This is what we're picking out on and dialing in this video, right? Because this is one of the most... Once you see it, you will never forget it, right? Because you pay attention to the head while somebody's speaking, or you pay attention to features of the face while somebody is speaking. And no matter what feature you pay attention to, when the head is moving wherever it wants to go, you can acknowledge that movement. Movement attracts attention. Movement emphasizes and accentuates points. So when he says this...
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to.
He says that while nodding his head. So the body language is in line with the statement, emphasizing and supercharging that statement. I believe that. You should believe that. Well, what do you mean? What's the alternative, you may ask? If he was lying to you, which I want you to pay attention, you will see this in your day-to-day life now when you go out and you speak to people. Pay attention to if people shake their heads side to side when they make bold statements. So let's hear that statement once again.
You know what I mean? And like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to.
If I wanted to see somebody else, I'm going to. Imagine if he moved like this. If I wanted to see somebody else, I'm going to. If I wanted to see somebody else, I'm going to. If I wanted to see somebody else, I'm going to. If I wanted to see somebody else, I'm going to. That would be called non-congruent body language. That would mean he was lying to you. Instead, he's going, if I wanted to see somebody else, blah, 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 blah. So let's apply this in a sense where you're engaging with someone and you said, do you know who took my money? And they go, yeah, I know who took your money. Believe them. If you said, do you know who took my money? And they go, yeah, I know who took your money. The nonverbal is the reality. Before we learn how to speak, ancestrally speaking, evolutionarily speaking, right? Before we started walking on our back legs from all fours and learn how to verbalize and speak and communicate through the mouth and develop this conscious thinking neurocortex, right? Before this happened, we used to communicate with our bodies. And we needed to be truthful. We didn't lie with our bodies. We were truthful. We just worked on a subconscious basis. Our conscious mind didn't learn how to deceive. We needed to communicate with our tribe in order to ensure our survival. This is still in effect to this day. And that is why you need to pay attention to the non-verbal cues instead of the verbal cues. But when you can learn how to pay attention to both, you can now work out if they're lying or telling the truth. How do I find out if he's lying to me? Well, if he says, I love you, while shaking his head side to side, he's lying to you. But if he says, I love you, whilst emphasizing and dialing it in with a nod of the head, that's to say yes. Shaking your head side to side is defiant. It says no. Why does it say no? Because when we are babies, when we are children, we are biologically adapted to turn down the teat of the mother by saying, I've had enough. No. We turn away from the spoon when we are being spoon-fed. No. Have you seen how it becomes part of our nonverbal means of being as we grow older? No means no, you shake your head, but that comes from a regressive state as to when you were but a mere baby. That no meant just as much as a no as it does now. Whereas a nod is a yes in submission. You lower the head fearlessly because you take your eyes off of that as to which you are paying attention to showcase your confidence in what you are saying or the person before you. That is why you nod your head in submission to those you feel subordinate to in a respectful manner. Namaste. Come on. Let's slow this down and pay attention. Let's dial this in, people. Let's dial this in. Click like and subscribe if you want to learn how to read people from A to B. This is one particular gesture we've pinpointed out. Go on the Patreon. We watch so much, man. We break down bit by bit by bit. This is just a teaser. Let's go. Playback speed 0.5. Watch him accentuate this, yeah?
You know what I mean? If I want to see somebody else, I'm going to.
He knows what he's saying, and he's locked and loaded and ready to make this statement. He knows he's on television. He knows he's on Jubilee. He's 9.47 million subscribers this YouTube channel has. He knows what he's got himself into. He knows he's on camera. He knows he's ready to spill the beans, for lack of a better term. He's locked and loaded and prepared and ready to do this. So he emphasizes it and he jumps into it head first, quite literally. You see the symbolism in our words and how it relates to our nonverbal communication? He's there head first, look.
Like, if I want to see somebody else, I'm going to. You know what I mean?
As he says that, he steps backwards. We're not going to focus on that, but that is a escape from her. He distances himself from her as he says it. That in itself is symbolic and something to pay attention to. But what you see is he steps back in after he makes the statement.
And I'll let her
He steps
know.
back as he says it, and he leans back in. That's an expression of nervous energy. Okay? But that's some game. Click like and subscribe. I'm uploading every day. Get on the Patreon. Peace.